Hey, what's going on, guys? Rob the Warrior Strategist here, coming at you from San Diego. And this week's video, I wanted to share with you the most powerful book I ever wrote and why it was such a significant victory. Um, as you can see, I'm dressed like I'm going to a monster truck rally. Actually, it's raining here in San Diego, and I'm about to go for a nice long run. Um, and so I dress for the weather. And I like to take these with me just in case. So, um, the most powerful book that I ever wrote dealt with the concept of speed learning. And throughout my life, I had tremendous trouble in formal academia because I had a learning disability, and so I had a cognitive processing disorder. I didn't understand how to learn things like a normal kid. I tuned out what my teachers were saying. I got bored really easy, and I was a very kinetic person. I hated sitting in the classroom and just reading text out of books. It wasn't fun for me, and so this led to me failing out of high school and then failing out of two colleges. And a lot of people thought I was stupid, which was a misnomer. It just meant that my aptitude was misdirected. And so as I got older, I started learning. I started paying attention to different ways where I'd learned, and my achievements started getting better as I started to focus on the techniques that helped me to learn stuff faster. So, for example, I used a lot more diagrams. I used a lot more group work. I used a lot more reverse engineering, things like that, in order to systematically understand processes that were difficult for me to comprehend. Um, and so as I was working the day job, I started compiling all these different ways of learning stuff. And the list grew and grew, and it turned into a project called The Next Level. And essentially what I identified was there are five ways of comprehending a subject, and each one's a different level of comprehension. And so this became the model, what I call the GMOS, the Garcia model of skills comprehension, how well you understand like a skill or a job. So after a while, I kept writing the next level until I came out with this iteration of it, which is the newest one, Next Level Supercharged. And this book is my favorite book that I've written because it represents me beating my learning disability, and it represents all my accumulated knowledge as far as taking a subject and then figuring out where you're at in the GMOS. So you have awareness where you barely know about it, you have familiarity where you kind of know a little bit more about it, proficient where you can teach it, master where you're seen as a practitioner, and then expert where you can literally change the industry of whatever skill it is. And then it also has like 16 lessons, like for example chapter 13 is immersion, but all these different, it has 16 different techniques for learning stuff. And then 5 celebrity interviews with people that accomplished amazing things, like Joseph Kapachewski, who lost a leg and then got requalified to active duty as an Army Ranger on a prosthetic. And I got all these great interviews from people that went above and beyond to achieve great things. And then I had worksheets where people could actually fill in like where they were at in the skill level and then how to use the techniques to learn. And this video isn't an ad for this book, really. I mean, I'm going to put a link in it if you guys are interested in comments. It's a great book. It's illustrated. It's got diagrams. It's got a lot of design work in it, and it's very well thought out. But honestly, I've used this book in business over and over and over again when I need to learn something and figure out a process, right? So throughout my time in business, I've done a lot of things that were considered difficult. You know, I've created programs, I've written books, I've started a magazine, written about 15 to 20 ebooks, all these different things. And whenever I have to learn something new, like my brand strategy or my social media, all these different things, or make a media plan, I always turn to the Next Level Supercharged in order to figure out what techniques work together best to create the best results for learning. And so far, it's worked out really well. So if you guys need a good resource for your business, if you want to learn things at a faster level, you want to learn about reverse engineering and diagramming and deconstructing stuff and learning things with a deeper level of comprehension, check out the Next Level Supercharged. It's going to give you some really good ideas. The learning techniques are all pretty easy to implement. And honestly, like, this book changed my life. It really... it helped level the playing field to where my learning disability didn't hinder my growth as an entrepreneur. So if you guys want a good guide for business, just I advise check it out, and hopefully it'll help you out. Like it's helped me out. If you have any questions about business or want to learn more, just feel free to reach out to me. I know all of us feel stupid in certain areas of business. And we're not supposed to know everything. We're supposed to know a few things, develop our aptitude, and then outsource everything else to someone else. That's the way it works. So, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap up for this week, but thank you for tuning in. And if you're struggling to learn anything in business, feel free to reach out to me. This is Rob, the Warrior Strategist. I hope you have a great week. Talk to you soon.